All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders of GMS who were well. Peace and salutations to like Akim on the four corners, prison, truth, and sincerity. Peace be unto you. This video is going to, get into sacrifices. When you make sacrifices, that shows your dedication. That shows your love. That shows your alliance. And we're going to show the sacrifice that Moses made, which is amongst, one of the best sacrifices ever done for the nation of Israel. The best sacrifice being the lamb. But this is Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 22. By faith, Joseph, when he died, made mentions of the departing of the children of Israel and gave commandment concerning his bones. By faith, Moses, when he was born, hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. Verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Now, Moses, he was raised, the story of Moses. He was, Moses means drawn out the water. The Egyptian woman found him, took him in, and he was raised as an Egyptian. And he had a high seat. But it says in verse 24, when he was come to years, when he got older, he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Verse 25, it says, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God. So he chose, he said, fuck this. My people are the children of Israel. I'm an Israelite. I'm going to choose to suffer with them. Then fuck this. This is just like leaving the Illuminati to join a GMS camp. That's what that's like in today's age. Now, you and me know most niggas ain't doing that. That's like you born into, let's say you the son of, some rich, two rich jakes like Beyonce and Jay-Z or some shit like that. And you already got trust funds set up for you. All you got to do is just live life, and take upon the throne and rule it once it's given to you. And you say, no, fuck that. I'm gonna go out here and be a street preacher. That's the sacrifices that you're making. Verse 26, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures of Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. So the scripture says Most High has not given us the spirit. He also was shown many miracles as well. He chose to be with his people when he had the two Hebrews that were striving together, and he said, why smitest thy brethren? Why you hitting on your brother? They said, They basically said, who made you rule over us? You intend to kill us like you killed the Egyptian? That's a sacrifice. He actually was all the way deep into it, where he was willing to kill for his own people. Now, are you ready to make sacrifices like that? Because you're going to have to make sacrifices in this truth. You might have to sacrifice that good paying job. You might have to sacrifice your music career. If you got a one that was aspiring, you might have to sacrifice your collegiate athletic career. Maybe you might have a full ride scholarship to go somewhere. The military as a E3 or something like that. You're going to have to make sacrifices in this truth. So are you prepared to make these sacrifices? Have you counted the cost? Are you prepared what you're facing? Reading on, verse 28. Through faith he kept the Passover and sprinkled blood, and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians are saying to do were drowned. By faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. By faith Rahab the harlot perished not with them that believed not, when she had received the spies with peace. All what shall I say more? For time would fail me to tell of Gideon and Barak and Samson and Jephthah, of David also and Samuel, and of the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions. Now, what's interesting too is that Rahab, she wasn't an Israelite. She made a sacrifice for, she turned her back on her people to help the children of God, even though she ain't a child of God. And the scripture mentions her as doing something honorable. So the thing is, we're going to have to do sacrifices in this thing. I'm still making sacrifices. There's still things I have to sacrifice. And part of the sacrifice is building up the faith. That's why it's also going into faith as well. Because once they made these sacrifices, the blessings of the Most High came down to them. Now, I want to go into the account in Exodus of the Hebrew midwives. Is it chapter 3? Maybe it's chapter 1. Salakia. Okay. This is Exodus chapter 1, verse 16. Verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God, and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively, and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore, God dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. So, they disobeyed. They had to choose between, are they going to listen to God or, because they know God's will, or are they going to listen to what Pharaoh said? They chose to listen to the Most High. Now, Pharaoh could have, put them to death. But the thing is, the Most High has the last word. And they said, I'd rather fear, God than to fear, man. On that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to Elder GMS Super Well. Peace and salutations and shalom.